Call Hello Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Brakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of Ruel. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. Again, I've been doing a couple of shorts throughout the week. This is definitely not going to be very long. This is an in-transit rant. So since I have to paraphrase and quote some scriptures, I don't want to let this be very long. But it has to do with an experience that I had, secondhand, I should say. So I'm in the parking lot of a grocery store chain thing, or no, I'm not a grocery store. Some parking mall. One of them little strip malls or whatever. It's not important. It's a strip mall parking lot, and there was this homeless Jake that was walking around, and I'm watching him. I'm seeing, just to make sure, because you never know who's who, especially in the city that I'm in. Like you never know. And he looks to be a Jake. Sometimes certain Jake, they may, have the Hamite features, but through the spirit, I think he was a Jake. And of course, Jake meaning son of Jacob, meaning an Israelite. And he had a couple bags in his hand, and he was in the parking lot asking folks, hey, can I wash your windshield for some money? And generally, if I have cash on me and the Lord puts the Lord puts it on my spirit to give, then I will just give. I don't want anything, right? Yes, there are a lot of drug addicts around here, but if the Lord, like I said, it's all about moving in the spirit. If the Lord puts the spirit on me to give, then I just give, and with a prayer that they do right with what I give them. But after it's out of my hands, it's out of my hands, right? So anyway, getting to the point, this Edomite lady, the man is walking up, and she sees him as he's walking up to her. He's very meek, very lowly, keeping his hands up where she can see him, and he's saying, excuse me ma'am, and she has this frown on her face, and she's running to get in her car, and she's like, you know how they are, nigger, and she goes into full panic mode. It's broad daylight. He's not sneaking up on you. He's not giving any indication that he is, up to no good, or that there's no malice. And she's running to get in the car. She closes it, locks the door, and then she looks out the window. Is like, no. And he just waves his hand. He says, okay, thank you. And I got so mad. I had to fight back tears. And I'm not a crier. By any means, I am not a crier. There are times, I'm not a crier when I get angry, I should say. But there have been times in this truth where, you read something and the Lord puts it on your spirit, or there's something that you go through and you see a video, and somebody else kind of speaks to what you're going through without even knowing you. And it is touching. Or when I, think about Yahweh Shai and things of that nature like that, you get choked up. You do cry in this truth. But never have I cried or fighting back tears through anger. And, he finally gets to me. I open the door and I say, hey, bro, I don't need anything washed, but I also don't have any cash. I'm sorry. I wish I could help. And, he was very nice about it. Hey, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. God bless you. And again, there was something about the dude. And it could have been, the scriptures do tell you, you could be entertaining angels unaware. But it was something very, very, it just angered me. And it was something on my heart that I was like, man, I wish that I had something, But I threw up a prayer for him, in a way to just, I don't know. I didn't know what to do. I had no money on me, and I didn't know. So I just, threw up a prayer, and I let my faith take the wheel after that. Let my faith in Yahweh Shai take the wheel, because there was something about that dude, and it was something about his foot that was put on my spirit. But I say all that to say that you fucking heathen, these people, pretty soon, they are going to be the ones begging. They are going to be the ones hoping somebody has some crumbs, hoping somebody can spare $1. The shoe is going to be on the other foot very soon, right? And the Lord said his servants are going to eat. All right. The Lord said his servants will drink and be merry. So with that, you got to remind the Lord. You don't. Not that you have to remind the Lord. What I should say is the Lord likes when you remind him of what is written. Because how are you going to remind him if you don't read? How are you going to remind him if you don't know the mind of the Lord? How are you going to know the mind of the Lord lest you read, right? Lest you get in the spirit, lest you watch these videos, lest you do your due diligence, okay? Studying to show thyself approved. So the shoe was going to be flipped, right? And the first thing I thought about was Lamentations 4:20, all right, where it talks about, the punishment of thy, iniquity is accomplished, O Zion. And then and then the Lord immediately flips to Edom, and he tells him, it's your turn. You got to drink of the cups. You're going to have to drink into the very dregs of this cup, and you're going to get rendered double. That was the first thing I thought about. But all I could feel was anger. And anger that I haven't felt before. It was something that was unknown. I had to stop myself from getting out of the car and yanking her out of there. God, that's what I felt. But obviously, you get control. Man must have rule over his spirit. But she act like that man wasn't a person. There was no need to be that ugly. And it was... Man. There was no need to be that ugly. He's still a human being. He never gave that woman any inkling, any indication that he was threatening. He walked up in the most non-threatening manner that anybody could. Hands up, excuse me, ma'am, announcing himself very slowly. Hey, I just want to wash the windows. And man, at least he's trying to do something. Because there's a bunch of homeless Edomite drug addicts out here that is just begging. That's all they do is beg. Jake was trying to do something. But very soon, like I said, and I found me a parking spot. So very soon, all right, I want to read that. We're going to get Lamentations. The shoe was going to be on the other foot. And these devils, everybody else that act like you can't have just the basic respect for human life. And they can't. The shoe's going to be on the other foot. You were about to feel what Jake had to feel. You were about to feel the curses that Jake has went through. All right. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. Let's read that. Lamentations 4:21. I'm sorry, I said 20. Rejoice and be glad. All right, he's telling us. And then he's talking to Edom. O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz, the cup also shall pass through to thee. What is that cup? That's slavery. All right. That is trial, that is tribulation. Those are the curses. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom, and the rest of the heathen as well, but especially Edom. He will discover thy sins. All right, so it's only a short amount of time, but in that short time, we are going to be tested. We are going to experience very hellish conditions, and everybody's hell is going to be different, right? The Lord may put one brother through one thing and another brother through another. You don't know. The only thing that is a constant is that your faith, you must know that your faith has to stay intact. Your integrity has to stay intact. Your will and your want to walk in the Spirit as much as possible has to stay intact. The love for Yahweh Shai has to stay intact. The fear of the Lord, the fear of Yahweh Shai must be at the utmost level you can manage as humanly possible. All right, you have that fear, and then you have that love. Love, if you love him, you'll keep the commandments. And that fear is going to push you to keep the commandments, because you know if you don't, there is a judgment, there is a recompense. All right, there is a reward for everyone, be it good, be it bad. But there is a reward for whatever actions, however you live this life, all right? It is no eternal hell, all right? There's just a death and a torment, a slow death maybe, whatever the Lord decides to do. All right, this book of Ecclesiasticus talks about teeth of wild beasts, right? 39 and 30. But yeah, man, all of that, it hurt my heart. I think it was like a physical representation of how Jake is downtrodden and not respected while, you know, you got what, servants on horses and princes walking. You know what, we need that too. Let me just put this here because I'm gonna forget if I don't. What did I say? 30 and 39, 39 and 30. So let me go here. Let's have that queued, and then we're gonna pull up. I saw princes on slaves on horses. That's what we need, or servants on horses. All right, and that's a representation of those who are supposed to be lowly, the lowest of the low, are in a position of rulership. Servants. Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's read what we queued up right here. Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach 39 and 30. We'll start at 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. All right, Yahweh is the father of spirits. All right, so whatever he creates, it will do his will. Unfeathered, ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's like ones and zeros. All right, it's a lot like computer logic. You press a button, that button does what it's supposed to do. No ifs, ands, or buts. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. All right. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is and when their time is come. They shall not transgress his word. You see that, point blank, period. And very soon, I'm going to keep saying that the shoe is finna be on the other foot. That's just going to be the title. All right. The shoe is going to be on the other foot. Or I'll find a scripture that paints it in a better light. All right. Something likened unto Lamentations 4 and 21. Ecclesiastes, all right, 10 and 7. And I'm going to just read that here just to speak to the point that I made. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. And that is us right now in that lowest state because of the curses. Being treated like subhuman, inhuman. Like that man wasn't a person. And I'm getting riled up and pissed off thinking about it again just now. Or right now. But the time is coming very soon. And it's funny because it's by their own hand. They are unfit to rule. The turmoil is going to be by their own hand. And the Lord willed it. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Bukak Wadash. I pray that you are edified. And remember, you be careful how you deal throughout, out in public. Not only should you keep your head on the swivel and pay attention to what's going on around you, but make sure you have the same amount of respect that you would want. That is something that should just come natural to you as if you are in this truth, if you are actually sincere, if you are learning and you're growing. Show the respect that you would want to receive because you don't know who you're entertaining. Shalom.